the monetary policy statement issued, where one of the things that we announced, the main thing that we announced, is the policy rate. Does anybody know what the policy rate is right now? The percentage, not the definition. Anybody? Has anybody borrowed from the bank, from a commercial bank? Is there anybody who hasn't borrowed from a commercial bank? Let me put it that way. Okay. So how do we know how banks determine their pricing? One of the factors that they look into is the policy rate. I don't think I want to go too deep into what the policy rate is. One of the things I like about presenters is that sometimes when they don't know something, they'll just say, I don't want to go too deep into that, you know. You know, I just want to keep it simple. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes they really don't know. Okay. Monga, what's the policy rate right now? What, 60s? I've forgotten what the rate is. Is this camera on? Okay, so the other benefit of being a presenter is that I can say it is your homework to find out what the policy rate is. So every quarter we come up with a policy rate. Then we also regulate banking and financial services. That is the banks, the financial institutions, the non-bank financial institutions. I'll be very quick on this one. The banks and financial, the entities that we regulate, okay, are all the financial service providers. We call them financial service providers, except for the Securities and Exchange, those who are within Securities and Exchange, and the pensions and insurance category. So there are three financial sector regulators in Zambia: Bank of Zambia, Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Pensions and Insurance Authority. We have jurisdiction over the commercial banks, some microfinance institutions, the Bureau de Change, some leasing companies, some housing finance companies, but it is not all. It's not all of the microfinance institutions that we have jurisdiction over. Okay, and this is important because I think in one of the other presentations, if we have another opportunity, I would be very happy for us to go through the structure of the financial sector as in respect to the way we handle complaints, okay? Because we do receive a lot of complaints from the public about banks and financial institutions, and we have a structure through which we do that. But there are some institutions that are not under our jurisdiction, and we have a whole presentation on how to identify. We call it dealing with licensed financial service providers. That's one of the presentations we have, but I won't go through that. Next slide, please. So the main focus that we have as Bank of Zambia, the overriding objective, okay? We have other things that we can do, right? There are a lot of other activities you see us engaged in. But the main focus, the core thing that even if we're doing these other things, it must not jeopardize our objectives in terms of this one, which is, I'm only pointing one side, sorry, which is the issue of price stability and financial system stability, those two. But the main one is price stability. Monga, am I wrong? Yeah. Thank you. So, what is price stability? What do we understand by, even just by shouting one word, you can give me a hint that you know what price stability is about? Inflation. Okay. So you hear very often the Bank of Zambia talking about inflation targets and so on and so forth, right? Inflation is the rate of change of prices over a period of time. Okay? Am I right? The economists. Okay? The rate at which prices are changing over a period of time. And what is the inflation target in Zambia? There's a band where we say we're targeting that the inflation must be between this and this. Yes, I've heard it somewhere. 6 to 8. It must be between 6 to 8%. Where are we now? We're about 16, somewhere there. So we're above our target, all right? And one of we have instruments that we use to try and rein in inflation. So that's why you find when they say monetary tightening, reducing the amount of money in circulation. Because remember, the other definition that we knew is it civics for inflation was too much money chasing after too few goods, isn't it? It's a very simple. Sometimes we try to make it sound like it's a complicated thing. No, inflation, inflationary targets, the monetary tightening, but they are really quite simple things when you think about it. If there's only one bag of potato in Zambia, one sack of potato in Zambia for sale, how much would it be? If there were 1 million sacks of potatoes all over when you go to Soweto, sometimes you see tomatoes, isn't it? There are times when the price of tomato, a box of tomato is what? Like 300, 400 or higher. And then other times it goes right down to 5 kwacha. That's just prices moving. So price is determined by, the main thing is demand for a good or a service. So in order to deal with inflation, the thing that we sometimes do, the instrument that we have, is to reduce aggregate demand. Okay? It doesn't sound nice sometimes, but we have to reduce aggregate demand. But it has implications sometimes. You hear people arguing, no, why are they increasing the policy rate? Money will become expensive. It's true. But money becomes expensive because you have to look at the long run of what you're trying to do. Okay? Because if there's way too much money in the economy, prices will just keep on going up. So you also have to play on the other side. And that's why I think that it is important that we don't look at the Bank of Zambia as an entity that in and of itself can control these things. The main players, and we're having a discussion, the main players are actually you guys, all of us, the productive sector. You hear the governor talk about it over and over and over. We need to increase production. We need to increase exports. That is the actual key to solving this issue of inflation. Increase production, then prices will go down. Increase production, and the other element of monetary policy comes in, the exchange rate. You increase the amount of foreign currency that is coming in. Remember, the exchange rate as well is what? It's just a price, isn't it? You're just buying. The less there is of a commodity, whether it's potatoes, tomato, or dollar, the higher the price. So in order to increase the amount of the supply of dollar, we need to produce more. I've digressed. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Sorry, I'm eating into Collins' time. In fact, everybody's time. But I'm hoping this is useful. Is it? Okay, just be kind and say, yes, very useful. Is it? But is it making sense? Okay. Okay, thank you. So we have additional functions. Remember I said the main function is price and financial system stability, right? Oh, sorry, the other issue about financial system stability, let me explain that one very, very quickly because that's the area that Collins and I are kind of born out of. Financial system stability is the stability of the financial sector, okay? How many of us have got bank accounts? Okay. How many of us have dealt with a bank or financial institution? Microfinance, etc., etc. We've done that, isn't it? The money that is put in a bank, whose money is that? Is it for the bank? Is it? Okay, it is our money, right? Isn't it? Okay. Would we be comfortable if you give somebody money, any person, me, you give me money to hold for you, and you see that my lifestyle changes all of a sudden? I'm going on holidays, I'm buying cars and things like that. How happy would you be? How comfortable would you be? You wouldn't be too comfortable with that, isn't it? What's worse is, suppose you give me the same money, okay, to hold for you, and I promise that I'll give you back with a little bit after some time, and then you see me lending that money to somebody who's drinking and playing around and is basically careless. How delighted would you be? It looks as if you'd be comfortable with that, isn't it? I'm not getting the feedback. It looks as if you'd be happy with that. Would you be happy? So sometimes, and I have to be careful here, because this is a discussion which I think we had with Monga the other day. Sometimes we find a situation where people are saying that, no, the banks must give us money, isn't it? Why aren't they giving us money? What's wrong with them? And so on and so forth. But they are also careful that they are holding other people's money which has to be paid back. It is something that they call financial intermediation. How many know about that concept? Financial intermediation. Huh? The haves, those who have and don't have use for it, are able to give those that are in need. Okay? So the bank, the financial institution which is in between, is intermediating. It's getting from this end and giving to this end. But they have to be prudent in the way that they do it. And that's why we have what we call prudential oversight, prudential supervision. Every month, the banks and financial institutions submit information to the Bank of Zambia. We analyze to make sure that they're doing the right thing, operating in a prudent manner. Okay? If a bank or financial institution, especially the deposit-taking ones, if any of those is seen to be careless in the way that they're using their money, lending to each other, and it has happened, people open a bank, the directors within the bank, the board members are just lending money to each other. It's called insider lending. We have limits on those things. So we look for those kind of things. Who are you lending to? How prudent are you in the way that you're giving this money? Now, how does that affect us as individuals here? Because there's another message which, if it doesn't come out here, I would like us to understand. And it's there in another presentation on credit infrastructure. How many of us have heard of the term collateral? We know it, huh? We know what collateral is, okay? How many of us know the term reputation? What is a reputation? It is something about a person, isn't it? Okay, I have a certain reputation. You can build what you call your reputation by the way you interact with the financial service provider or with the financial sector. Okay? That is something that we call reputational collateral. And reputational collateral is much, 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 much more useful, significant than having a car, which you present as collateral. Because your reputational collateral is your character. Somebody says I mispronounce character. Am I right? Character. It's your character, isn't it? So your character is extremely important. Your character spiritually is important. Your character financially is important. And if there's one thing that a bank or financial institution, or even a person, me, I'll be looking at if you come and ask me for money, is what is your reputation. There's a whole presentation on that under credit infrastructure. So, some of the things that we do: formulate and implement macro-prudential policies, exchange rate, inflation, the macro issues, the big issues. Macro means big, okay? Implement exchange rate policy, okay? What is our policy? It wants the way the kwacha interacts with other currencies. Hold and manage international reserves and assets as a republic. We know what reserves are, isn't it? Okay? Our international reserves is at how much as of now? I can't remember. Is it 3 months? What reserves means basically, very easy, is if for whatever reason the country stops producing, they can go into their reserves and meet their demands for a certain period of time, isn't it? Remember the drought in the Old Testament? 7 years of drought, 7 years. Now those reserves that you that you keep. You're not producing for 7 years, so you can just rely on what you have, okay? We have import cover, I think of, is it, sorry? 3. It's 3 months, and what's the target? I can't remember what the target is. This is very bad that we have a camera here and I can't remember these things. But like I said, that name there is Denny Kalialia. Me, I'm just joking. So, Botswana, does anybody know what, how much reserves they have? Roughly. Can anyone guess? No one? Okay. Last I heard, they had 10 years of import cover. It would be nice to have that. And we can do a lot with our reserves. It's not just for situations where we're not able to produce. Oh, time is going. Not where you can also use it to manage the macro issues. Okay, so regulate, supervise, I've talked about, act as banker and fiscal agent of government, act as banker to banks. Okay, so the banks bank with us. Next slide, please. I just want to maybe just keep going because we'll skip those. Next. Next, please. I want to go to the next one. Just keep going until you see something about the current strategic plan. Okay, so we have a new mission statement to achieve and maintain price and financial system stability to foster sustainable and inclusive economic development. When Monga finally agrees, he will come and explain these things to you because he was the one leading this, this thing. Let's go. I want to see if we can look at the... Okay, so those are the areas: price stability, financial inclusion, and organizational resilience and growth. And because of, I wanted to do this presentation because of the orange one, financial inclusion. We are relevant, I think, to the objective that you have in trying to foster financial inclusion, financial literacy, financial education in the church. And I think this is a good segue where I can now hand over to Collins because he's going to give us, Collins, come. He's going to give us a short presentation on one of the many topics that we have under financial inclusion. I do hope this has been useful so far.
Good morning, everyone. Also, like Wanji, I've been standing in front of many people during my presentations, but it has been a long time since I stood in front of a church. I used to preach in the past, to an extent that when I was conducting financial literacy in Chingola, one of the participants came to me and said, "Are you a preacher?" Then I remembered that I just need to go back at some point. Okay, so my role is very simple. It's just to present financial education to you. And we'll target a topic called mystery shopping. Okay? So you allow me at some point to just get off the podium so that I can see what I'm telling you also. There are some things that I might not just explain just off cuff. Okay, so next slide, please. The controller. Okay, so the Bank of Zambia conducts financial literacy under the auspice of National Strategy on Financial Education. Okay, so under this strategy, there are 3 financial sector regulators. That is the Bank of Zambia. Okay, something has come, isn't it? Thank you. So that is the Bank of Zambia, Securities and Exchange Commission, and Pensions and Insurance Authority. it's a commercial break. Thank you. So as we are waiting for the connections, how many have borrowed before in this congregation? How many have borrowed before from a financial institution? Okay, can see many. How many run businesses, small businesses, and have borrowed for a business? Yours is big. That's good. That's good. How many had failed to get a loan from the bank after making an application? You apply for a loan and the bank does not give you the loan. How many? Okay. All right, thanks. So, see how it is moving. Okay, let me just work with this one. Okay, so before we go into the Ponzi schemes, we can also have a look at, it's showing that side, okay. We can also have a look at just a few principles of borrowing, especially for those that are running small businesses. So in front of me, or in front of you, you have got two people there, Peter and Thomas, okay? So these people want to borrow from a financial institution, okay? So you are a financial institution. You want to consider the loan application from these individuals, okay? So I want to get an answer from you. So this is Peter and Thomas. Okay, so that is their collateral, like Banji explained, the character. And that is their background information that they have brought to you as a financial institution. So with Peter, they're saying, I have a store in Comesa Market, and I need a loan to buy more goods for my store. Okay? That is the information Peter is bringing to you. And Thomas says, I'm an accountant in a big company, and I want a loan to buy a car. Okay. So these people have come to you. At this point, who do you think you can give a loan? Okay, it depends on the amount. Yeah, I heard Thomas. Okay, let's continue searching. So you're looking for proof of income. That is Peter's proof of income. Okay? That is Peter's proof of income. What about Thomas? Thomas has got a letter from the employer and a bank statement and some reference letters. At this point, is this adequate information? Who do you give the loan? Thomas, isn't it? Okay. At this point, we are with Thomas. More information, because as a financial institution, don't want just to give a loan based on the inadequate information. So you seek for more information, and that is what is coming. Okay? So, okay. Yeah, so for Peter, this information that you are getting now from the people that he interacts with in terms of transactions. So this is the testimony they are giving you. They are saying, Peter buys produce every week and he pays cash. Okay, the other one is saying when we need something urgent at the restaurant, we can always count on Peter. The other one is saying, I lend occasionally to Peter, and he always pays back quickly. Okay? And the last one saying, that's a credit officer, says, go to Peter's store and you like what you see, meaning the store is well stocked. Okay? With Thomas, the employer is saying, Thomas just started working here. He has had 3 jobs in 6 months. So he moves from one job to another. Okay, the banker says Thomas has 3 personal loans and a mortgage. Sometimes he's 60 days late. Then the neighbor, because we come from the community, isn't it? So the neighbor says, no, that boy is not good news. Meaning Thomas does not pay back. Okay? That's a testimony you get from the neighbor. So now, have you changed your mind to Peter? So what is wrong with Peter? Pardon? Record keeping, isn't it? Because record keeping gives a history of how your business performs. Okay? How your business has been performing. That is the information that a financial services provider can rely on. Because they don't know you, they don't know where you are coming from, isn't it? Apart from using CRB, they want to look at the record of your business, how it has been doing, and so on, so that they can make a decision to lend you. So that is what I thought I should share with you in terms of record keeping. I'm sure there are people that are running some businesses here, and you got to put your records in order so that as you present them to a financial institution, you can be considered. Now, let's look at this elephant in the room. I'm sure you have heard that a lot of people have lost money. Okay? And most of us here also want to make money. Okay? Isn't it? Every one of us wants to invest. So wherever we hear that there's something happening which can profit us, especially in platforms like this, like the church, you want to share the good news with a brother and a sister. Have you heard that if you take 2 kwacha this side, within 2 days, you make 5,000? Isn't it? No one wants to keep the information to themselves, isn't it? We are brothers keepers because we are in the church. Okay. So, the question is, what is a Ponzi scheme? Okay? What is a Ponzi scheme or a money circulation scheme? Okay? These are fraudulent investment schemes that are set up by promoters with the sole purpose of scamming or stealing money from the unsuspecting public. Okay. These schemes are not underlined by any business principle. Okay? They are unsustainable in nature. But the information that these promoters are going to sell to you is that there is a certain business that they are doing somewhere, where when you take your 5,000 kwacha, within 2 weeks, you'll be able to multiply that money maybe to 20,000 and so on. So this is one of the key features, is that the message is very attractive. Okay? Because even where I am here, if I'm told that if I take 1,000 kwacha, within 2 days, it will become 10,000, I'll be convinced. I'll be very interested to take part into such kind of a business. Okay? So that is one of the features. They are unsustainable. They are not supported by any underlying business. Okay? So I'll skip those. Those are just trying in the historical information. Yeah. So The Ponzi schemes are also called pyramid schemes, okay? They are also called the pyramid scheme, just like the shape of a pyramid. How many have seen a pyramid before? You've seen the pyramid, eh? One of the key features of the pyramid is that it's wide at the base and narrow as you go to the top, isn't it? Just like it's shown on the screen. So I mentioned that they are not supported by any underlying business. So what happened now, no wonder they are called money circulation schemes, that the promoters are going to sell the business ideas, especially to platforms like this, the church, because that is where there is a huge membership. They know that once the information is sold to the church, when you go into the communities, you will also sell the same information to others, and the group will grow bigger. So now, what does this promoter do? They are going to sell the business idea. They will tell you that if you bring so much money, within 2 weeks, it's going to multiply to maybe 5,000. And you ask a question to say, how are you going to multiply it? Are you a magician? They will tell you, no, we are not magicians. We have a business contract. They will mention fancy places in Dubai. That is where we have the Arabs, or the indigenous of that country, that love chili and goat meat so much, to an extent that they have given us this big contract, where we will go into Mazabuka, anywhere in the rural areas, we buy these goats and we transport. You, as an individual, you cannot go and sell it on your own. You have to go through us. So your role ends at investing into our business. When we take the goats and the chili to Dubai, when the money is paid to us, and we are going to pay you. That's the business model they are going to give you. Okay. So now, they will also tell you that when you recruit others, there is a bonus on your return. The more people you recruit, the more money you get. So you'll be on the rapid now, because you want to make a lot of money. Apart from the actual return that they've promised you, you want to make more by recruiting more people. So now the group becomes bigger. Everyone has brought 5,000 kwacha as the initial amount into the investment. The group is bigger. So now, the initial entrants into this group, which are on the second layer there, as you can see the second layer there. All of you at the beginning, you are at the bottom there. As you are waiting for 2 weeks or for your investment to mature, you are still recruiting other people, okay? So the money that will come from the people that you have recruited is going to be paid to you. And when you are given, you have put in 1,000 and you are given 5,000, indeed, you have testified that the money has been given to me. It is true. Even your recruitment, you become more vigorous. Okay? You become more vigorous because you have seen the money, isn't it? Others, what they do, when you are paid, okay, if you are lucky, you are paid, that is. From what you are paid, you are saying that I'm going to reinvest. I don't want to touch this money. I'll be reinvesting it. You have even developed a strategy for yourself on how you are going to make sure that your investment grows. So these people at the second layer will pay these at the bottom. So confusion now here begins, because even those at the first layer, they are investing the money into this scheme. Okay? Now, as a promoter, I look at the money, the way it is coming in, and I know that at one point, you will not recruit more people. Okay? The numbers will start dwindling. And I know that I can't just run this platform for free. I also need to do what? To benefit. So at the last stage now, the initial people are going up to the top. Now, towards the end, problems begin. And what you are going to see is that when you go, you follow your investment, when it has matured, then the promoter now begins to give you stories. You know, the chili that we took last time, there was just a minor problem. The off-taker did not like it. Just a minor problem. They start now giving you promissory notes. Stories begin. So if you can give us 2 weeks, I think we'll call you. You can come on. We'll call you when the investment comes in. We'll be paid. Don't worry. Okay? You go back since the 2 or 3 times, all once you were paid. So you trust. You have developed trust with these individuals. Okay? Then at that point, the fraudster or the promoter of this scheme is now looking at ways of channeling the money elsewhere. Okay? Wants to take the money elsewhere. Okay? So once he succeeds to take the money elsewhere or to run away, whatever team they have, the time we will go to the offices, you'll find that the offices are locked. By the way, I must make mention that this Ponzi scheme, they take 2 forms. One will be the physical form where you see the offices. The other one will be on the internet where you are busy interacting in the comfort of your bedroom. You are busy interacting with the internet. You are seeing this investment. You are chatting with the people that you cannot see. You don't know where they are. They cannot be in Zambia, they can be in Nigeria, they can be in any other country. But you have just trusted to say, if I invest in this scheme, I'm going to get money. So, now the question is, how can you identify a Ponzi scheme? Okay? One of the key features that I told you is that they promise higher return at a minimal or no risk. We all know that the basic principle of investment is what? The rule of the thumb. The higher the risk, the greater the return, isn't it? But these ones will tell you that the higher the return, the lower the risk. It's opposite. This is how they have put it. So they'll promise you a higher return at little or no risk. The idea is to make you get attracted, okay? To stimulate you to move towards this kind of investment. Then the other feature is the lifestyle. The lifestyle of the promoters. You can see from the lifestyle of the promoters. What do they do? Because, we all know that a banker looks smart. Okay? And the offices, they have to be very nice. They have to be neat. So what do these scammers do? They will go and rent offices in a very, very important, very, very good area at a mall where they're paying a lot of money. So that to make you believe, to say that these people indeed, for them to set up this business, they are organic capital. They are not just depending on our money. Look where they are. When you are recruiting, you're even saying, do you know where they are? Do you know where they are? Yeah? They're at East Park Mall. They're at Lewanika Mall. That building there, that's where they are. Okay? Then the other thing is that at the launch of a Ponzi scheme, they invite prominent member of the society. They can even invite the pastor here, if the pastor doesn't know. So that when you go to recruit others, you are even telling, even the pastor was there. The pastor launched that program. I'm telling you, this is a blessing to the church. When we invest in these things, all our problems will go. Yeah? You're even telling your friends, if we can invest more Even our tithe will go up. Building of the church will be completed within a short time. Eh? So they invite a prominent member of the society, even an MP and a minister. There's somewhere where we went where a minister was the one that flagged the project. Because you don't know. Okay? So that's what they do. Then the other feature is that there is mass marketing. The marketing is vigorous. There's mass marketing. They depend on mass marketing. They make sure they market so that they bring a lot of people to the fund. The other feature is that sometimes they hide behind a product. No, there's this product. When you take it, your sugar levels will go down, your BP will be down. Yes, it can be a genuine product. But as you get this product, you have to invest so much and recruit others to come and get this product and invest as well. Have you seen how they are mixing things? Yeah? I'm sure you have heard somewhere where there's this product, when you take it and it does this and it does that. Then they mix it with the investment. Okay? Then the other feature is that they don't like too much paperwork. They don't like too much paperwork. If it were possible, even by word of mouth, they will tell you your investment is here, you can go. They don't want writing too much because they know they don't want to put a trail where they can be maybe arrested and so on. Okay. That is the other feature. Okay. So now, we have gone through the features of a Ponzi scheme, what they do, so it is easy for us now to identify it. Now, it comes to the law. What does the law say about this kind of investment? Okay? What does the law say about this kind of investment? So, Section 157 of the Banking and Financial Services Act, okay, says, even an investor, you as an investor in a Ponzi scheme, you can be prosecuted. You can be prosecuted by merely participating in a Ponzi scheme. In the past, the Bank of Zambia and other sector regulators have been very lenient when it comes to this law, on the premise that we might not have gone too much to other places in terms of sensitization. Okay? We need to do a lot of outreach, isn't it? Now that you have known and you understand the law, you can be prosecuted if you participate in a Ponzi scheme. That is what Section 157 of the Banking and the Financial Services Act. There's also Section 20 of Securities and Exchange Act, also which indicates that no person is supposed to run an investment platform without a license from Securities and Exchange Commission. Even for the Bank of Zambia, no person is authorized to run banking business or lending business, okay, without a license from the Bank of Zambia. These are institutions that are mandated to issue these licenses. When it comes to insurance, it's Pensions and Insurance Authority. Those are the ones that are mandated to run this insurance and the banking and the investment. 2 minutes? Okay. All right. So as I conclude, where can we report suspected Ponzi schemes now that we have known about them? So those are the institutions. You can report to Securities and Exchange Commission, okay? after reviewing their business proposal, if you feel that this is just a Ponzi scheme, you ask them for their license. Do you have the license in investment from Securities and Exchange Commission? They are unable to produce. Then you can report to Securities and Exchange Commission. You can, if someone is pretending or purporting to be running a lending business, you can ask for the Bank of Zambia license. So, by the way, there are some licenses from which fall under the Money Lenders Act. Those ones are exempted from this. Okay. Then there's drug enforcement commissions. The Bank of Zambia works hand in hand with these agencies to ensure that we keep such vices of money circulation. You can also report to Zambia Police. In the past 2 years or so, the Bank of Zambia went out throughout the country to sensitize the Zambia Police on how to identify these schemes. The way I'm talking here, that's the way I was talking to the men and women in uniform. So they understand these things properly. So once you report, they will be able to take action. So now, 1 minute remaining. Let me just give examples of places where people lost money. Okay? Places where people lost money. In Sorwezi, there was a Ponzi scheme called Ikulire Isungire. Okay, they come up with funny names, eh? Ikulire Isungire. People took money there to invest. They lost a lot of money. Okay? In the southern province, just close by, there was Ono and Comsave. I was privileged to look at the figures when we are calculating, when we pounced on them, so we are calculating. I saw somewhere where, just by comparison of the names, I thought that was a couple that took 950,000 each in a Ponzi scheme. They lost money. Okay? Just recently, there was the issue of Kamano somewhere there. Kamono farms somewhere there. Yeah? People up to now haven't recovered their money. And I must make mention that when you have lost your money in a Ponzi scheme, it is not the role of the Bank of Zambia to pay you back. Okay? The Bank of Zambia just pays you from what has been salvaged, what has remained. Okay? If you had put in 1 million kwacha, you might walk away with 20,000 kwacha. From what has remained, a ratio of what has remained is what you get. Sometimes there's nothing that has remained, like the ones on the internet. You just walk away with nothing, because we can't trace those people. Okay? So we have to make sure, not like, no, I lost money, I'll go to Bank of Zambia, will pay me. No, it can't work that way. Actually, Bank of Zambia, if you come, will point you to section 157. On a lighter note. I think that is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Elder Banji and Brother Collins, for that insightful presentation. At this moment, I'll give you maybe 5 minutes to reflect on the presentation that has just been given to us. Do we have anybody who has got a question to our brothers? Something that is itching, or maybe something that you've experienced in relation to what they've just presented? Brother Aaron.
Thank you very much, Brother Collins. I think you should get back to preaching. Do I have an amen? I want to find out, in the recent past, we've had lots of issues to do with people selling land. So you have people that, and some of them are even in court. There were some guys that were selling land on Leopard's Hill Road, and people discovered that there was in fact no land. Is that part of the Ponzi scheme? Is that an example of what we're talking about here? I just want to understand whether that was yes.
Okay, I'll take another question so that he answers at the same time.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for that presentation. It was quite informative. My question goes, maybe I would like your expert advice. I've had colleagues, actually even church members, that have come to me trying to entice me to invest in cryptocurrency. Sometimes even foreign exchange. I don't know those internet, they say, no, put in a bit of money and then you're following something on the internet. Of course, from what you've explained, it just gives me red flags of Ponzi schemes. But from your expert advice and your experience, what can you comment on that?
Any question? Oh, okay.
Good morning. My question is there a difference between network marketing companies, multi-level marketing, and a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme?
Thank you. I'll allow, don't know who is getting the another question. Thank you. So this should be the last one so that we move with time.
Good morning. I have a number of questions. Very short ones. What's your take on cryptocurrency? And then Shylocks supposed to be registered anywhere. And then what's your take on village banking?
Thank you.
All right, so thank you. Thank you for those questions. I hope I'll be able to remember all of them. Oh, okay. And Monga, look interested. You're supposed to answer some of them. He's trying to look like he's really, but he's an expert on most of these things. So quick one. There's I think you saw the principles that Collins laid out, how to identify a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme and so on. One of them is that if the investments materially relies on the recruitment of an additional person, that is one of the factors that can be considered as a red flag. Okay, so what were they called? Multi-level marketing is allowed. Okay, there's nothing wrong, but it can be easily be used to disguise that thing. Village banking is something that the Bank of Zambia actually encourages strongly. Because, okay, I think here I'll try and go a little bit into things because I think it's, and I apologize to the other presenters because we've taken a lot of time. The actual concept of village banking, what we call a village bank, started with the Grameen model, okay? This is in Bangladesh, okay? And the village bank worked in such a way that you have a group of people who act as security for each other, okay? So you lend, a financial institution in the Grameen model can lend to this group. And the financial institution relies on the group to ensure that they get their money back. That was the concept of village banking. In Zambia, what we call village banking many times is actually is a SACCOs, savings and credit. SACCO, I've forgotten what it stands for. Savings and credit, something operating, yeah, and the rest. Homework again. So, and those SACCOs, the broader category is what you call financial cooperatives, okay? A financial cooperative, building societies, the original building societies were just a financial cooperative, only that it had a particular purpose, building. When we come together as a group of people who know each other, have equal say in the group, in other words, the decisions are made equally. No one has got to have a vote over another. That is the proper form of a financial cooperative. There's some documents that talk about principles of financial cooperatives. I would invite you to look at them. Those are allowed, okay? And I think if you're above 10 or something, there's a law which regulates that. And is it the Cooperatives Act, which has been under review for some time. Cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, what was the other one? Internet investments and so on. Those are also legal, okay? But you're on your own. Bank of Zambia, the Bank of Zambia, I think SEC, issued a statement on those things. Bank of Zambia also issued a statement on cryptocurrency. Remember, we are regulators of, we have jurisdiction over which currency? The kwacha. Cryptocurrency is from which country? There's no country. It's not issued by a central bank. Cryptocurrency works on, what's that thing? There's a term, I've forgotten what it is, but it's based on people just, yes, this thing is actually of value, okay? So it can easily shoot up in value, it can easily fall in value. Some countries have started looking at cryptocurrency quite strongly and things like that. We play a more cautious kind of view, okay? So if you're engaging in cryptocurrency and you're confident, you are confident. Remember, it's all about due diligence. You are confident that you're doing the right thing, what, and so on and so forth. We wish you the best. But we will not be able to, won't be able to come in and provide the kind of protection that is provided by a central bank. Or any central bank will not be able to protect you unless they've got a deliberate policy to do so. Shylocks. Shylocks, I don't know whether you know the term usury. Okay? It's even in the Old Testament, we talk about usury and things like that, isn't it? Yeah. Usury. I would be happy if the church had to invite us, and I don't know, that stand behind something that can protect me from things being thrown at me, but I would be happy if the church could, at some point, ask the Bank of Zambia to come and give a talk on Islamic finance. You know, you'd be interested to see some of the principles of Islamic finance that actually come from the Old Testament, especially, right, which prohibit certain activities like profit without you putting in whatever. I've forgotten the terminologies and stuff, but I always find it intriguing that there are these principles that are there, that we can learn from, that we can kind of understand where we're coming from, like usury and stuff like that. So, Shylocks. And probably one of the last things that I would want to say is this. Money lenders are not regulated by Bank of Zambia. We have what we call the Money Lenders Act of 1920-something, 1930-something. It's an old instrument. We don't have jurisdiction over the money lenders, okay? The Money Lenders Act has got a provision that says that an interest rate of in excess of 48% is considered to be unconscionable. Not illegal, but unconscionable. And some courts have interpreted that to mean illegal and stuff like that. But the point is, there are laws that limit high interest rates. However, money lenders, many of them have got very, very high interest rates. And one of the many reasons why the interest rates are very high is because of what? Remember we talked about price. What affects price of any commodity? Demand. So for as long as a person is, if Elder Aaron tells me that he wants to borrow 100 kwacha from me and he's going to give me back 300 kwacha in a week, what right do I have to say no? Isn't it? And that's how Shylocks work. If you go to and please try and avoid those high interest things. You're going there of your own volition. Yes, there is pressure, but you're going there of your own volition. Please try and avoid those kind of things. You just find yourself in. And we have seen it at Bank of Zambia. I'm heading the division that is responsible for consumer protection and market conduct. Before that, I still had that portfolio under a different title. I have seen, and I'm sorry I'm taking long, but this is a passionate plea. I have seen people come to our office lying down on the floor, crying and begging because of something they put themselves into, including the Ponzi schemes. I have seen people who have lost their uncles. Somebody sent them to buy a tractor. They went and put it in a whatever. We have seen them face to face. I have talked to people, groups, people insulting me on the phone, saying that they want their money because Bank of Zambia is holding on to them. I've seen that thing. I've talked to those people. I've been insulted by them. I've tried to counsel them. I've done all those things. So I'm asking, it would be sad if some of those people are people that I end up recognizing from here. I apologize profusely for taking so long. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry, time. Okay, just a minute. Let me pose this question. How many are parents here? How many are parents? Okay, thank you. How many young people do we have? Young people? Not young people at heart, real young people. Okay, 20, okay, from 0 to 25, let me put it up to there. 0 to 25? 0 to 25? Thank you. Again, how many parents do we have here? Thank you. What is stewardship? What is stewardship? Stewardship? Stewardship. You are just whispering. Someone to raise the hand and just say, this is what it is. What is stewardship? I think we're here because of stewardship. Stewardship, elder.
The care of someone's resources.
Okay. The care of someone's resources. Have we cared for those things that have been, those human beings that have been entrusted to us? Why are we all here? We couldn't bring our children. And these are the people that are going to take up from us, to take over from us. That's an excuse. How about some of us? What an excuse. And you are here. No. You can't give me that excuse. Okay, so the point is, as we are learning these things, we need our children to be part and parcel of all these lessons so that even when we have done something ourselves, they can take over from us. Then we'll be good stewards, right? Yeah. So there's something that I just want to highlight some things. Stewardship involves both responsibility, a sense of responsibility, and a call to generosity, okay? Stewardship is a sense of responsibility and generosity. So I paid particular attention to the two brothers who were sharing. There's a call to responsibility. If you are going to invest, you must be responsible. You must do your due diligence. You must check, is this too good to be real? Can I easily be swindled? And also, make sure that you are involving God in everything that you are doing. Sometimes we are swindled because of our appetite for amassing too much too soon. So that is the danger. There's a principle. We can't want to go up and be rich on top. We are already on top. We're already on top. That is a principle of a grave. A grave, you start building from the top and you go down. Okay? Yeah. There is something also that he said, the money in the bank. The money, he asked a question, Elder Milambo asked, whose money is it when it is in the bank? Okay? So, some of us want to assume the money that we have is ours. That is not stewardship. Everything belongs to God, and stewardship is to recognize that everything that we have belongs to who? So if you are a bank, you are just a custodian. Okay? Don't assume the responsibility of God. There's an issue that he talked about, the character and reputation. I hope you were following as they were teaching. And that's the reason why we are here, because we want to learn. And let's not just listen to the beautiful words. Let's look at what is it that it means to me, what they are presenting. Character and reputation. What is your character? Even as you are a steward, what is your character? Stewardship is a sense of responsibility and generosity. So some of us, sometimes we need to ask ourselves, should God give me more? Whom am I impacting? Because stewardship is also about impacting. Whom am I impacting? So as we continue learning, let's be reflecting on these things, on stewardship. Thank you. At this moment, I'll hand over to Elder.
Thank you, Sister Manalola. And thank you once again. We are glad to have you. The house is almost full. We started with about half of you, but we thank God we are here. Our next presenter is going to be someone who's going to share with us some of his life's experiences. This is someone who has stepped out from what all of us are doing, being employees. He hasn't reached 55, but he has packed what he studied, and he's doing his own stuff at the moment. He's an upcoming commercial farmer. His name is Elder Simbwalanga Zunga, or Zunga Simbwalanga. A big hand to him. He's going to lead us in building a financial safety net through multiple financial sources. I've just seen our church pastor. Pastor, you are most welcome. Okay. You may just wave at the congregation. Okay. Thank you. We'll introduce you later.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Are you sure it's wonderful to be here? Yes. Yeah, I see beautiful and handsome faces. And I hope the pockets are as beautiful and handsome as you look. We are here for money, amen? And usually money and amen, they don't go together. I don't know why, but where there are church people, usually it's associated with poverty, dirtiness, and untidiness. Even the thinking sometimes is lowly. But I want to tell you that the God we serve is a God of excellence. And he wants us to be on top of things all the time. Yeah, I think I used to be a good presenter. Not until I became an academician. Because now I'm so glued to what is written, has it been verified, who wrote it, why this and why that, which is good, right? But it slows down the income in our pockets. Because when you should be making money, you are reading too much and you are justifying this, you are doing that. I'm not discouraging you to do the studying and the reading. I was interested with cryptocurrencies. It's one of my studies. I'm a researcher in that. I know in Zambia we don't have yet a law that regulates that. Not only in Zambia, by the way, but much of the African countries. Why? It has been a difficult issue to talk about and to even relate, because there are very few people that have studied it in terms of research Mostly people trade it on different platforms. Like he said, it's dependent on blockchain and all these other things. And it is in private hands. So regulation has become very complicated and difficult. But it's something that has worked for others. And like he honestly said, the Bank of Zambia said, it is up to you. It's in your own hands. You can risk, you can trade, but it's up to you. And I will not dwell in that. That's not my talk for today. Building a financial safety net through multiple financial sources. Yeah, he said I stopped work. Yes, I did. I retired earlier. Retirement age in Zambia is 55. And 60 and 65. That will be early, normal, and late retirement. But how many of us would want to wait until they are 65 to go and start running and chasing after money? How many? I don't see any hand. Why? Because you have to make money whilst you still have the energy. When your spine, your backbone, and the veins and the blood, God forbid, I don't know if God forbid is allowed in the church. Yeah, but if today someone threw snakes in here, how do you imagine us to escape? Who would be the first to go out? I expect you to say me. Each one of us would want to be the first because you fear death, right? Exactly. So when you have the energy, you must run for life. And running for life means creating for yourself a place or a zone that can make you comfortable as you sit. There are people today who, when they go to bed to sleep, they cry themselves to sleep. There are people today, when they kneel down to pray, they cry themselves into prayer. Not for anything good, but because of misery, problems, and trouble. And those have come because of, sometimes it's deliberate. It's what you yourself, I saw the number of hands. You are the parents that must create a financial safety for your children. You don't want when your children are grown up to again be referred to that you are the people that whose parents did not work hard. No. You are the parents. You must make the money today for your children to be able. Now, this money is not made whilst seated and doing nothing. If you are seated, at least do something. Like my brothers here, they are standing, but they should have been sitting to work. I'm saying all this waiting for the presentation. Okay, so all right, it's there now. So building a financial safety net through multiple financial sources. The Bible says, go and multiply. And God was referring not to money, but to individuals, right? Bringing into this world a lot of children. So if you are not fulfilling that, maybe it will be difficult to have multiple financial sources. All right, so what is financial safety? Don't mind me, that's my family. I'm not a Taliban. You shouldn't worry. So what is a financial safety net? It is merely a cushion of funds that can be used in a case of different eventualities. Now, we all know that the Bible says there's time to be born and time to do what? To die. So, to him who is alive knows that he's going to do what? To die. Now, between birth and death, there are a lot of eventualities in between here. And the growth itself comes with a lot of different other eventualities. And most of us, to traverse through those eventualities, what is needed? It's money, isn't it? So the financial sources that we create, the money that we need, help us to walk through day to day. You had to make a decision to wake up and to come here. You came here because of money, because you had to put in fuel, you had to eat, and you even when coming out from here as we go, it will be money. Now, that money is what we want to talk about, how to create it, how to safeguard it, and how to make sure it is going to sustain you through the times. And now, you have to create that financial safety as a cushion. All these eventualities that happen in your life from birth to death, or even in death, yeah, so even in your death, you are expected to spend, not so? Yeah, because for you to be buried, there has to be money. People to cry, they need money. Yeah, because without money, believe you me, it is hard. And I know you know what is trending now in the media. Someone somewhere, a famous musician, said, I create money for you. And I had to make sure you cried well. So it's the same. Even in our death, we expect to have money because it's money that will make us be mourned properly. You don't want in your death people to start cursing you. Chinafa chimdala and that is not right. It's something that is real, but you don't want that. But when you have money, if it's a funeral of someone with money, you'll see people going there even in suits and dressed properly and neat, driving Porsche cars, and they park, all of them are there seated, and there's even some music playing. They wait, the food is served, they go and not even lining up. There's a buffet, people collect and eat. It's not enough, they go back and eat. Probably 3, 4, maybe 5 would be a good time. But that is what is actually happening. And this is what money does. Even people didn't know you attend your funeral. So types of multiple financial sources. One, we have diversified investments. So these things like stock, bonds, real estate. Now I have little time. I'll try to rush through because some of these I know will meet them. And here we are meant to just agitate each other so that when we go out there, we bring in the money in the church, and the church has more money, and then all of us enjoy. So there's diversified investment, then multiple income streams, and then emergency funds or savings. So what that entails is these type of financial sources. Each one of us at least should have a financial source in one of them, or many of them. But unfortunately, these days, most people are comfortable with just one stream, which is an income through salary. And we work so hard. We go to university. My brother here, who was just from presenting, we are together CBU. Okay? We are together at CBU. And then I was looking around. Someone also, we are together at UNZA. Then I looked around. Someone again, we are together at UCT. Okay, and then I was looking around. Now, what am I trying to say? All these places, you are sitting down to study 3, 5 years, again here 3, 4, 5 years, and then here again 3, 4, 5 years, and the years are going, and then you end up just sitting with all that loaded information in an office, waiting for a knock, come in, sit down, and then at the end of it, yours, with truly, yes, best regards, kindest regards, and all the regards that we can do. And at the end of the month end, we have a 40, 50, 70 pin. Maybe 5,000 is what is true. Yeah, so, and that's what we have reduced ourselves to. 30 days of knocking in and knocking off. You can imagine that brain, that head seated on you. For 30 days, it goes to sit again before a table. No, we have a very good and big strategist here. They are pointing to you. Or to wait for 30 days. All the strategy and all the knowledge and all the bigger person that you are, probably with spectacles like me, because they make us look intelligent, right? And then you just sit waiting for a knock-in and knock-out, and then you go and come. There's a funeral, the group in WhatsApps, and the brothers these days are very faithful. Just the moment you are pronounced dead, the doctor, the WhatsApp group has been made. Contributions for the funeral of Dr. So, Professor So. The brother is gone. And people are remaining behind, making all this. Why? Because he did not probably plan his life well, and he didn't put things in order that should have been put in place. But all these can be curtailed, all these can be avoided if we plan and we know where we are going, and I don't know in the resurrection how it will be. Sometimes I wonder, like, God has come. I don't know, maybe to dramatize it a bit. Pom, 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 the trumpets, as Revelation says. And then those are resurrecting, some from graves, others coming from the oceans, those that might have been eaten by sharks, and others from different places. Then they're resurrecting, they're all popping out and joining. And then now you are asked what you did on earth. No, I was the director for... So what did you do? No, I was planning strategies and... Yeah, so what did you do? Yeah, so those strategies, there are booklets, so I have a lot of them in my office. Yeah, so what did you do? So that's what we need to picture ourselves every day as we live. No, by no means am I discrediting that, because it's one source of income. So when I say so, I'm trying to encourage us that even away from that, there must be something. You'll see as we go on. So strategies that we need, I'm using again the word strategies. I've talked about it so much. But anyway, it's there for us to use. Strategies to build a financial safety net. One, start by building an emergency fund, savings fund. Most of us may have investments, but we have no savings. Those are the people who, when you ask, Uncle, I need money for school fees, but you think of your uncle, he has all these things that he's doing. He's running buses, he's doing this, he's all over, he's on the show, on Facebook, he has 500 in 1 minute likes and all that, but the uncle can't give you a 500 kwacha. And he truly, genuinely, if you check his account, there's nothing. Why? Because there is no building of an emergency fund. So the first thing you need to do in building up a safety net for your financial safety is make sure there is an emergency or safety net for your finances. Because anything can happen anytime. Most of us will only build that when our wives are expecting and they are in their last trimester. Okay, I need a bucket, I need this, my brother, there are gloves that are needed. And you see him collecting, because it's in the last semester, probably 8 to 9th month, 36, 37 weeks. The brother now has gathered up. No, you start from the beginning. Just when you know, you suspect, you see her vomiting, and I think I fired there. Start building up and putting up things properly, and then you build on from there. You see that there will be no problem. You see as we go on what that does. So diversified investment also reduces the risk. So you can have your savings set up. You have an account. You have money there that you've put up for emergency, however, whenever it may come. But also now start building up this money that should come and support the investment, the savings that you have put in place. So most people, others have savings, but there's no investment. They're just chewing again from the savings that should have been for a later or a near future. Then develop multiple income streams. So as you invest, the money that is trickling in, and now that develops for you multiple income sector. Types of investment, I'll rush through that. Stock or equity. Now, equity or stock, there is private equity or public equity. This just means if there are companies that are doing fine and they are selling their shares, take an interest and it will help you. Personally, I don't know about you. When you visit Lusaka Stock Exchange, know how many companies are listed there. There's no problem in you buying shares in all of them, even just one share. What that does is it improves on your knowledge of knowing which company is probably doing well. And that is public equity. Those are public listed companies. So you buy. Usually the share will be maybe some 15 kwacha, 47, 20, 10, others even in ngwes. So if you buy, they are obliged by law to save you notices, to give you information. You can imagine, to get all that bulk of information. Some actually write their magazines so well, their profile and everything so well. So you have only paid a 50 ngwe or a 1 kwacha or 50 kwacha. And then they give you all this bulk of information. Whenever there's information to do, they give you. And you're able to see and read through all the time. And it will keep you abreasted and start to understand how these companies are performing. And you do that, the in private entities, public, like I have said, then bonds or fixed income. I think my brothers from BOZ, maybe they should have also tackled this. It's time that has limited them. Okay, Monga, let's do that next time. Yeah, so there are bonds that we need to do. Corporate bonds, there's the BOZ issues also, and they do that monthly. Yes, monthly, and then you invest. There's an earning that will come every 6 months. Just seated, probably with your strategies and your books seated in the office. An income will come every 6 months as a coupon. And that's it. You can invest every month, then you will have an income as it were for that. It creates that fixed income security. Then multiple funds. So this pulls money from mutual funds. This pulls money from many investors to invest in a diversified portfolio of stock, bonds, or other securities. So then there's also exchange-traded funds. These are traded on stock exchange. Then real estate investment. Now, and then commodities such as gold, oil, or agriculture products. Then currency. Okay, so if you want now to probably have incomes from all these different streams, you can now put in stock, you put in bonds, you put in mutual funds, you put also in exchange-traded funds, you invest in real estates, you invest in commodities and in currency. I want to say that all these cannot be done actually at once. Okay, it's something that you have to plan. Firstly, we said you start with your savings because anything can happen anytime. Then you start now getting into other diversified investments. In these other investments now, that's when you consider this. Where do I put in first? Okay, I have my savings. Let me buy bonds from Bank of Zambia. The next thing is when the coupon comes, I'll use that money to buy a small farm. Then that farm, I'll start maybe goats, I'll do maize, I'll do soya, I'll improve on. And then just slowly, it doesn't have to be so big and something that you want when you stand, people are saying, there are they. No. Just slowly and build up. With time, you see that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years, you will have put in investments in all these. And don't rush to when you see money to expenditure. And I think that is a sickness that most people have, and they have failed to invest. Because for them, when they see money, it always causes them to go to East Park. They will know every trending movie at each movie, cinema, yes. No, East Park. Now East Park, there is Lion King for kids, and then there is this for the Manda Hill, there is this, and you find people have, it's not in any way bad, but it is bad if you are doing that without investment. Why do people do that? They want to show that they can manage. But life is not about showing off. You will show off today. At 17, 18, you are back home alone with your wife. Problems come. Sweetie, the child had fever. We needed to go to the clinic. You don't even want to hear that as a man. No. You know I don't have money. But we were just watching Lion King, which costed us $350. That's the other money. Yeah, so where is the other one for medicine? Okay, so if you haven't planned it that well, you find yourself, you're always running into battles. And by the way, most of the divorces now are actually not because of unfaithfulness due to infidelity. It's actually money issues. Well, if you don't want to trust me, I'm a lawyer, by the way. Okay? I know these things. When you go in court now, let's start from the local court. Take a time. Go and sit in a local court. You will see that from when they call up the first case, maybe at around 10, by the time it will be 15, they will have called maybe roughly about 20 cases. Of the 20, 16 are divorce matters. And those divorce matters, when you hear and you follow closely, what they talk about is, Banzonita Nandalama, that's why Ninasakira Winang. And those are realities. And what is painful for me as a man is to fail to provide for my house and for my wife to start asking other people money. I think you don't want to be in that space. The women, what's the problem? The emphasis in it's worrying. It's very worrisome. And men looked so, it's a thought, right? It's the pain of thinking that another man can sponsor your wife to go and buy a wig, to go and do nails, it's painful. You don't want to be in that space. And all that can be avoided by making sure that you create those revenue streams in the well-planned manner. No, they are in order. Don't say these people. They are well protected. My sister, you can shout that again. All right, so advantages as I close of creating multiple sources of income. One, there is the reduced financial risks. Then increased financial flexibility. The people you see floating around, whenever there's a challenge, they just quickly attend to it. Whenever there is a call for this, they quickly attend to it. It created probably a safety net of finance. So they are able to attend to that. Be the person, like others say, when there's a funeral in the family, when you come, they say, okay, now we are burying. Until you come, they say, now we are burying. So if you are not there, all these others that have come. They'll even say, others will just say, I don't know who those that are around would be classified as. But it's all because of the pocket. The Bible says money does what? Answers what? My brothers, it's real. It's not just in theory. Money answers all things. There's nothing you can think of that cannot be answered by money. Yeah. There are people who are handsome and beautiful, but because they have no money, no one looks at them. And that husband, maybe including me, my wife, you probably only saw that there is this man because there was man. Maybe in the absence of cash, there could have been elsewhere where people could have been looking. And this is a reality. Don't cheat yourself that you're handsome, that you married that man, that woman. No. These are reality. It's money. It's the pocket which they are married to. They are even accepting. I thought they were going to say they will shy off and the men who... Well, I mean, some of the things are realities. We can't beat about the bush. Have money and you call order in the home. Some children stand when you are disciplining them because they know you have no authority. When you say, John, come here, John comes with a hand in the pocket. Yes, Daddy, did you call me? Because he knows that out of it, he will not get anything. You are probably also waiting for money from your wife. So, if you are the person who calls the shots, when you say John, actually John, before you finish the word John, will have started coming, Daddy, did you call for me? Because he thinks there's something valuable that they would benefit. So, let's be those type of people. By creating flexibility within us and then improved cash flows. I think I've emphasized this. Enhanced financial security. There's no eventualities that may take you off your feet. Everything that happens and that comes, you are prepared and you are ready to take off. God forbid, your uncle in a distant place, maybe Vubu or Shangombo or Sinjembela, walk outside, get into your Range Rover or Land Cruiser. Range Rover. Yeah, get into your Range Rover, reach Mazabuka, someone has already called that there is this person that will be passing. Please give him fuel at Puma. And you just load it and you tell them, there are 2 other vehicles coming. Please load them as well. And off you go. With no stress. Not when you hear it, even you now, you start having stroke. the death of one person is the whole family that is sick. So create that security in your family. Increased investment opportunities. When there is all these monies coming, you find it becomes easy to invest in different other avenues. It will not be a pain to see on your television adverts, invest in oil, this one has floated on the public channel. There will be a prospectus that will be coming out for this company. Say, okay, okay, quickly, and you call someone. Please, can you get this? Are you getting that? Yes. But when you see it, you start looking down. Change channels. Today Manu and Everton is playing. You are running away from responsibility. Okay, and everything will agitate you. Then diversified income streams, I think I've talked about it. Reduced dependence on a single stream. You see, for some, a salary is spent 2 months before you get it. Not even a month. So if your salary is, let's say 25,000, your expenses today are above 60,000. So what do? This is what he was talking about. It's easy now to be duped, Ponzi schemes to be duped, because they are telling you, put in 5,000. In 10 days' time, you get 50,000. And poor you, the 5,000 you don't have, you go and borrow somewhere, I'll give you back in 10 days. You get that and put in, and expecting that in 10 days' time you get the 50. Then stories start and you find yourself now in more problems and worse problems. So that stream, that salary and whatnot, it will not suffice. And it becomes, you have to reduce the dependency on it. So improved retirement savings, I think this one is a topic on its own. You want, when you are old, you are okay. Don't be an old man who the backache actually leads to your death. And these are realities. Some of the people, you meet them on the streets as you walk in the corridors there, they are asking for alms. And when you trace back, these were the MDs of some companies, CEOs, COOs, CFOs, and all the other Cs you can mention. But now it has become difficult because they did not plan properly, and it becomes a mess. It's an embarrassment, not only to you and your family, but to God also. And then tomorrow, I'm knocking in your office, knowing that I'm from knocking the next office to you asking for money. Something you don't desire and you don't even wish. So that's it. Number 9, increased financial resilience. Greater peace of mind. I think above all, brothers and sisters, you need a peace of mind. Go to bed comfortably, knowing that you wake up and things are in order. Are we together? Yeah. So I end here. May God bless us all. Amen.
Thank you, Elder. Yeah, we have heard for ourselves, yeah? For some of us that have been attending the retirement planning from Family Life, I'm sure you attest that all these things were covered in depth, giving you all the options that you need for you to survive. Poverty is not a nice thing. Huh? It's not a nice thing. There's something that pains me sometimes, like when I'm moving, if you are going to this Twin Palm, is it Twin Palm, I think, yeah, that road near the Kingsland, somewhere there, there's an old lady, very old, that they parade. First time I stopped, this woman tells me a story. No, okay. What is needed? No, we need to take her to Mumbwa. I said, no, what is needed? He said, I don't think you need money. You need to take her. So I will help you with that. Where does she need to go? If you need to go with her, I'll take you. So he says, no, actually, it's a money that we need because we still need to go and pick something. I knew there was a story. So instead of what you are doing to her. So just what our elder was talking about. You know, you call respect. You call some authority when you have got something. People will give you a seat. When you go for a funeral, they will. There's that kind of respect that you will receive when you have got a bit of kasaka. When you have got a bit of kasaka, there's a level of respect that you are given. And sometimes, because we haven't been prudent after they lost a job. Does that make sense? And you find that they were driving in these Porsche cars. Then you are reduced to, what is the lowest car? Vitz? Or minibus even. Yeah. It doesn't just augur well. It is actually not good at all, because stewardship, you are reflecting God's character and purpose for creation. So how are you reflecting God's character in everything that you do? If today we said somebody, you are losing your job, you won't have your job tomorrow. How many can survive past 3 months? Past 3 months? Thank you. Past 6 months? Past 1 year? Thank you. Past 3. So let's not take these presentations as just mere motivation talks. Let's put them into practice. Let's seek for this knowledge. Let's look at the people. All these presenters, all the people that are presenting today, they will help you, connect you to what you need. So Elder Simgalanga has told you something about streams and all those things he was talking about. Please go to him after this presentation. Elder Wanji and Brother Collins, please go to them. They will tell you about these facilities that they are talking about. And all these people that are going to come, they will direct you there. Let's not shy away from getting information when we need to. Let's get this information when we still have time. And you can't wait until you are my age. I have very few years before I retire. Don't wait until you are my age, then you start panicking, going to the farm, and then the crops, there's a drought, then you can't survive. You die. Okay? So he mentioned some things like the emergency funds. And he said something very interesting, that if you're an uncle, your nephew calls you, said, I want money. Again, let's be good stewards. You can't have a nephew or a niece who calls you to have money, to prove that you have money indeed, just because they want to go and buy drugs, just because they want to go and drink. I'm a very difficult auntie, because I tell them, I work very hard. And truly, I work hard. I hustle. So I don't expect a human being, my nephew, my niece, who sleeps from morning to evening competing with the dead, to come and ask him for money from me. Okay, let's be good stewards. Let's encourage our children to be hardworking. Let's encourage them to earn a living, decent living, not an issue where they just want to beg from one uncle. They know there's a rich mama, there's a rich auntie there is a rich uncle. Let them also emulate what we are doing. That's why I asked at the beginning, do we have parents here? Did we bring our children? Did we bring our nieces? Did we bring our nephews? Let's encourage them to also make money. Even if someone came to me and says, Auntie, I want to go to the farm and look after the cows for 1 month. Then you pay me something. I'll be very glad to help that child. So let's be good stewards. Any questions so far from the presentation that has been? I'll allow 5 questions. Any questions? You did very well, Elder. You can see. Okay, there's one hand.
Is it still morning? Good morning. Okay, good morning, church. It's not a question, but just a contribution. For just to contribute something on the types of sources of finances that you can make investments in, and also on strategies to build. I was really paying attention and keenly following. I was hoping somehow, Elder, you would touch on insurance. Unless the Elder Vanji did that in the beginning, I kind of came a bit late. But just to make my contribution. It's something that I would encourage each and every one of us to take time to know more or invest time in learning about insurance. There where we don't have an option to insure our cars. Okay, no one here has an option. If you don't want to do comprehensive, you would do third party. So in this instance, when he spoke on diversifying investments to reduce risk, and also emergent funds and savings, sometimes you may not have the discipline as a person to do those savings. Of course, you can do deduct, for example. But if you took time to go, we have so many insurance companies now. In this case, I'm referring to life assurance or life insurance companies. It can really, really, really help. They have even minimal contribution as low as 500 kwacha per month that you can do, which you can even encourage your children in universities to make savings there. They can save minimum 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, which are also long-term investments you can do. For example, many of the investment companies, like, I don't want to give an example because I work for an insurance company. Before you think I'm vouching. So for long-term investments, apart from bonds, if you go and put out, for example, a platinum saver, it's gaining compound interest on your investments and your returns. You can do minimum ones like Smart Child. For those of you who are building investment for children to go to school, as much as you can afford, but there are eventualities in life that happen. I'll give a scenario. Somebody put up a policy together as a couple, then the husband decided to change the terms and conditions without letting the wife know. And then the person he put as the next of kin was the girlfriend. So, so then, unfortunately, this man died, okay? And then as an insurance company, we just look at the document, what do we have there? And we paid the person because we follow what you've put down there in your documentations. So imagine if as a family you decide, we have these policies, these are in this madam's name, these are in my name, and these are for the children and all that. It will save a lot of headache. The other policy that I would encourage in terms of savings, and that can act as an investment in terms of emergency, is a flex funeral policies that we can go to and have. They really, really, really help in terms of funerals. These days, funerals have become so expensive to handle. And you make minimum contribution from as low as 250. These are things that are real. And so we have so many insurance companies, you can take time, go and, research and see what can work for you. Then the other type I can share on is on, we have NAPSA, all of us, yes, if you are working, you make contributions. You can also still do your personal pensions, like privately on your own, that you can get to make your investments in. And the money is compounding there, which you can get before even your retirement. Should you decide to resign or something happens, before even waiting for NAPSA to be paid out. So just a contribution to say, let's take also keen interest to invest time in learning more about insurance, which actually can work around all these investments that we are trying to do and sources of income. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for that elaborate contribution, my sister. Insurance, for whatever you are doing, also think about insurance. And also remember, even all those streams of income he has talked about, start small. Start with what you have. Don't look at a big thing. Just start small from wherever you are, and then start building up. It will help you a lot. Okay? I'll call upon Elder now.
Thank you very much, Elder Simbalanga, for your sharing of your experiences and data. I pray the members are gleaning. At this particular moment, we were supposed to break off for our tea break, but then because we started off a bit late, I want us to, or we have agreed that we just have one more session. Is it okay? Yeah. If possible, we can even reserve the snack for later. But, but we can allow our next speaker to come through and lead us in unlocking one's full potential. And this is no other than Africa. Africa. We know him. Brother Dumisani Lingamangali Nube. Please come through, my brother. Thank you.
Good morning. I think they're working on it. I wish they could put it here. Africa. No, spare thy servant. We agreed with the church not too long ago that me, I am ready to marry. There is only one condition. Only one. I need to marry from the new church. We can't marry from here. Eh? There won't be space. You know, when Africa is thinking, people are in their thousands. So we can't marry from here. And I don't want to embarrass our church. So I've been pushing my elders, please let us build so that I can marry. So the next time the nation troubles me about Africa must marry, I'll tell them that Brentwood has delayed me. So, yeah. Are we in order? So never ask me about marriage until the church is done. Yeah. So that is settled and it is closed. Pastor has witnessed it and it has been bound. So what has been bound here has also been bound where? Thank you. Thank you. So the topic that I was requested to, congratulations to all of you that found time to come here. I think this is one of the few gatherings that I've seen so many vehicles parked outside. Gatherings that have to do with entrepreneurship. Because generally, we don't value some of these things. But it is so interesting that we are hungry for information, and I'm seeing very well accomplished people here. A number of you, I know the wonderful things you are doing, powerful positions that you hold. Some are doctors, powerful people. And one interesting thing, I saw, Dr. Kabani come through, and I was asking him, but I didn't see you on the flyer here. He said, no, I've come to learn. I saw the poster. This just shows that people are hungry for information. So the topic that I'm sharing on is unlocking your potential. And for those of you that follow what I share on, I push the agenda of entrepreneurship because I strongly believe that entrepreneurship is one of the surest ways of positioning you for success. So that is the agenda I'm pushing with the Africa Must Think and everything else that I get to do. It is to push many more Zambians to rise. That is the agenda, and I believe that is the purpose that I have. And I would challenge all of us to begin thinking of what is our why. Why do we exist? What do you think will be your impact on this earth? Before I even get to the discussion, what do you think is the reason for your existence on this earth? I know you are born, you are alive, but what do you think is your purpose? What mark are you going to leave on this earth? Is it just to build a beautiful house, live in there, drive a beautiful car, then die? What is your purpose? Because before you unleash your potential, you need to unlock key questions. why do you exist? What legacy are you going to leave? What impact are you going to make? Once you understand your why, you can push the agenda of your why even when no one believes and understands you, because you would have identified your purpose, your reason for your existence. Maybe let me share this little something about my why as I get to the discussion. I decided to challenge myself this way, to say, being powerful, having money, having nice vehicles, living in a nice house, traveling the globe, those are great aspirations, but they are not really the ultimate, would be the main reason why God created me on this earth. So I decided to give a purpose to myself and say, I think God put me at a time such as this to impact other lives so that they may rise and attain their full potential. Then I thought, our continent is so behind. Our countries are so behind. And the only way we can push and catch up with others is if we began think. And the challenge has been, we need to rise as a people. And I felt, maybe I am called upon to play this role. And I saw it as a purpose that maybe God created me for a time such as this, to challenge my fellow Zambians and my fellow Africans to rise. Because how do you explain a continent so rich to be so poor? How do you explain a continent with over 60% of arable land still importing food from other continents that have 6 months with snow? How do you explain a scenario where we have 30% of mineral deposits in the entire world, but yet we are amongst the poorest in the whole world? How do you explain that? So I realized that politicians have a role, but I will play a role to challenge my fellow Zambians and Africans to rise. Because the biggest challenge we seem to have is the challenge of thinking. And we need to agree on this. If for a moment today we decided to remove Zambians from Zambia, every Zambian removed out of Zambia, Zambia will be considered a wealthy country, will be considered a rich country. The moment Zambians are removed, today Zambians out, Zambia is a rich country. But the moment we decide that let Zambians come back to Zambia, the moment they land at Zambians are back in Zambia, Zambia is instantly a third world country. Why? Because we the people are the poverty carriers. So if you are to make any change, then it must begin with our thinking. And I must indicate, I push the agenda of Africa must think, but people ridiculed. So this guy thinks he's the only one who thinks. What does he mean when he says Africa must think? And when those that have attended, see, these 30,000 people, how can they go attend? So meaning this guy is saying they don't think, and they would say all these things. And guess what? I was vindicated not too long ago. A couple of days ago, a president of a certain country gives an executive order. No more foreign aid. Then Africans rise in arms. No, rescind the decision. Our people are going to suffer. And what? Then some come in and say, actually, this guy has been right all along. Africans are not thinking. What am I putting across? Some people may not understand your why. Some people may not understand your purpose. But it might take a bit of time. With time, people that would wish to make a real change in this world, they may not be understood instantly. It may take a bit of years being ridiculed. Only in 2025, January, after Donald Trump becomes the president, that now they're saying, actually, I think this guy has a point. They're not even saying I'm right. They're really saying, I think he has a point. So people may not understand your why. So quickly, let us get into the discussion. Thing that I undertook not too long ago. In 2023, I embarked on a walk. A walk from where to where? Congo to Lusaka. But the next one was from Solwezi to Lusaka. But there are lessons that were part of that walk. And by the way, why did I embark on the walk? It was to address my why. I would want many more Zambians to rise and embrace entrepreneurship. And I believed to push the revolution, I needed to do extraordinary things and attract attention so that I can share this information to say entrepreneurship is the way to go. So quickly, I embarked on a walk from Solwezi to Lusaka. And in this regard, I will title my presentation, Go Back to Your Dream. Go back to your dream. The interesting thing is that everyone here has dreams that you had as a young person, powerful dreams. But that dream, those real dreams that you had when you were young or as you are growing up, most of them have been buried. And I would wish to challenge us to go back to our dreams. So quickly, I decided to embark on a walk from Solwezi to Lusaka. When I announced that I would wish to embark on a walk from Solwezi to Lusaka, social media got ablaze. People discouraging. In fact, even those that cared really did discourage. No, it is not necessary. Why would you even wish to do it? The key was when I was embarking on this dream of walking from Solwezi to Lusaka, there was a lot of discouragement. What are we picking from that? When you make a decision today that you want to embark on your dream, get back to your dream, there will be a lot of people that might discourage you. It is part of the journey. I was discouraged and some could not even hold back. They came on social media because my life to some extent is on social media. You could have seen the comments. No, his words. And this is just to encourage everyone that as you get to go back to your dreams, as you begin thinking of unleashing your potential, there's a possibility that people might discourage you. So after the whole discouragement, they realized that, no, this guy is serious. Because then the date for the walk was set. And after posting that we have started driving to Solwezi to go start on the walk, I was ridiculed. And people were laughing. Now, when people realize that you're serious with your dream, they'll ridicule you and they'll laugh at you. It will feel bad. You'll be discouraged. And on top of being discouraged, people are laughing at you. And I'll give an example in this. So I come from the village, got to Matero Boys. I began the pamphlets business. From the pamphlets business, when I got back to my village, I opened a kiosk, a simple kiosk, selling simple basic things, rice, beans, and in small sachets. And amongst the things that I was selling is Kasepa. So there's a Kasepa story for those that know my story very well. There's a Kasepa story. No. Carpenter. Now, there is carpenter. And there is fish. Kasepa is not carpenter, nor is it fish. It is just there. And for whatever reasons, it tends to have sand in the gills. It's bitter. So to prepare it, you need to put it in hot water and whatnot. So just to put it to context, at the village, the poor, who call the poor bosses, they would buy Kasepa because they wouldn't afford carpenter. Because then a medal of carpenter was 30 kwacha. A medal of carpenter, 30 kwacha. A medal of Kasepa was 7 kwacha. So it would be measured in large quantities. So we used to make fun of it. So one time there was a conversation taking place amongst my peers. So I decided to contribute to the conversation. We are kids. I'm just about 15. Trying to contribute to the conversation, one guy just answered, Ewe, chokapa, kazibeche kugurisa, Kasepa uko. And they all laughed. Now, something interesting is this. When they were laughing, I have a little cantemba of my own. And my peers have nothing of their own. But they are laughing at me. They are ridiculing me. They have nothing of their own. I am chasing my dream. Them, they are 100% depending on their parents. I have something of my own, but they have the audacity to laugh. What would I put across? When people realize that you have a dream and there's something you're chasing after, they might laugh at you. But you know what? It is not time for you to give up. get on your dream. So we drove Solwezi. After getting to Solwezi, I started on the walk. So there's a mall in Solwezi. When I embarked on the first day, because it was clear, no, the guy seems to be serious. When I got at the mall, I announced 8 hours will be starting off from Kampinjinga, or whatever mall that is. I've just forgotten the name. It is after Solwezi Council, just in front. Kampiji, yes. So I said 8 hours will be starting off. Guess what? 8 hours, people were there, in their hundreds, to support the walk. And there they joined in the first day. Where is that clip? In their hundreds, they joined in the walk. And the one you are seeing there on top, the mayor heard that there's a guy from Lusaka who wants to walk from here to Lusaka. The mayor comes, that one in a white suit, that is the mayor of Solwezi, comes to join. What am I putting across? Start your idea, and people to support you will show up. I didn't know this mayor. I just said I'm embarking on this dream. I'm embarking on this walk. The mayor shows up. As we were walking along the way, those are guys from Zambia. They just joined on the same day. And you know what they said? We saw you walking. We were heading into Solwezi, so we crossed you. And now we thought of joining you. And that was the marketing manager. And he says, listen, we love what you're doing. We love the drive that you have. Do you know what? We are going to give you Zambia products. Along the way, make a stop along the way. Wherever you stop, walk into Zambia. Get the meat, get the milk, get whatever as you walk to Lusaka. And at that point, they even offered a 60,000. There was no arrangement with these guys. No arrangement. We just met on the way. What am I putting across? That dream that you have, the dream you've buried. You see, you would have shared with your husband, with your wife, with your cousins, and maybe they've not shown any sign of support to you. Do you know what? People to support you, you don't know them. People to support you will show up once you start your journey. I didn't know this. The people I knew discouraged me in Lusaka. You are going to waste time. But the people I didn't know, the mayor I didn't know, joined in to support. These Zambia guys have never visited Zambia. Those guys just joined in. And in fact, just there, before they even said, they left us with those Mazamsi, Puma, what. Now imagine walking on your dream with Zamsip by the side. So people to support you, you may not know them. The challenge we are not starting on our dream is this. Our thinking is we are looking at people to support us and we can't seem to see them. We can't seem to identify them. And as a result, you've held back on your dream. I want to challenge you today. Embark on that dream. People to support you, you don't even know their name. You don't even know where they are. You've never even met. They'll come through to support you. And as we continued on the walk, now remember, we started in those hundreds. By evening of the first day, what you are seeing behind, those are lights from the vehicle. Everyone disappeared. We start from Kapiji Mall. We were a lot of us. Everyone greeting you, selfies, here, and yeah, your number, I love what you do. This is very good. You see, as a country, we need this, even the mayor. We've never seen people like you. But as we walked, one by one, they were falling off, until we remained the three of us. There was myself, there's a guy called Chicken Daddy, there's the radical farmer. The three of us. This is me here. And the lights behind. Everyone had dropped. What are we picking from this? You see, when you embark on that dream, there are certain dreams where you start on it. Brothers and sisters come, yeah, this is good. We'll support you, chickens. Go. But when time comes to order your chickens, no one is showing up. No, we need to start this dream. Do the marketing plan. And when you have worked on everything, Now let us put money together. Brother Chris, yeah, this is a perfect idea. We can start this. Now let us put money together. No, cause they start missing their cause. Yeah, and they're not returning cause. For whatever reasons, their phones have issues now. They've become too busy. They are nowhere to be seen. Now, that was us. We just remained the three of us. What do I want you to pick from this? When you embark on your journey, people who might be showing that they'll support you along the way, they might just disappoint you. It is part of the journey. One who is looking at unleashing your potential, you will face such things. It is part of the journey. As we moved on, so these are the three brothers that I had. The work is on. Okay, some things we do. Yeah. So as we moved on, now that was like day 2, day 3. They are seeing that you are serious. Then they started, no, look behind. These guys have a vehicle. Now that they have a vehicle, it seems these guys, when they walk, we capture. After capturing, they get in vehicles. And they move in the vehicles. Now, the accusations got so serious, and social media was ablaze. And you know what? This is in church. I can tell you that we did walk. One step after the other. God is my witness. The three of us, we walked. But social media and everyone was convinced these guys are not walking. They just step out, you capture them, then they'll get in the vehicle. What am I putting across? When you keep pushing your idea, they realize that you are serious. Accusations will come. And these accusations will come in many forms. If you are a lady and you are pushing very well, accusations will come to say you are sleeping with your boss. There's something you are doing. You can't just rise through the ranks this way. It is not possible. If you are a brother, there is something you are doing. It's either you are corrupt, or there's something you've done, or you've gotten into satanism, or they will accuse you of that. Or you've stolen, or whatever. And you know these accusations that come our way. They will come your way. You see, if you are positioned to utilize your full potential, accusations will come. And that is why now there is even almost a saying which is accepted in Zambia that if you've not been called a Satanist, then you've not yet made it in our Zambian setup. It is because when you are progressing, accusations just need to be there. So they accused us. Me, an innocent person, honest, you look at me. Someone accusing me of lying. These are liars. And some, you see, the funny thing is, with social media, it is very difficult to control. Some would even say, I passed that road. They were not there. Those guys were in the car. I saw them. Now, you can't be arguing. And this thing is everywhere. And me, I know the truth. So accusations will be there. Some would even put the proof. One time it was filling at the filling station, the vehicle, because it is following behind, they had to go refuel at the filling station. And they had left us resting somewhere. Someone captured at the filling station and said, these are your people. And you see, but anyway, accusations will come. It is part of the journey. So we moved past Chingola, past Kitwe, past Ndola. Between Ndola, our feet, blisters, issues all along the way. And by the way, before we even go to that, before we paused there, when we started off, I had very interesting shoes called Adidas. And my take was, Adidas are the best. So started with them, those didn't work. They were giving me a challenge on my ankle after working for a long time. We changed shoes. We changed about 3-4 pairs of shoes until we got something from Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill. So there's a brand called Sparks. The shoes, softer ones. What are we picking from this? Along the way, when something is not working, it is okay to change. Now the brand that worked was a cheaper brand. The expensive Adidas, the Nikes and whatnot, they were not working. What are we picking from that? It is okay to change your strategy. It is not about how powerful this strategy is. If it is not working, reverse and change. Some of us have stuck on a route that is not working. My brother and my sister, if it is not working, you can change. And that is why I encourage young men who've failed to marry. Me, at least it is because of the church. Yeah. You see, when you are pursuing a sister, and the things, you've done all you can, and the things are not working, it is okay to change the strategy. That strategy might look very good. Maybe the one that will work, it is the one from Jack and Jill. Change course. Don't 5 years chasing the same strategy that is not working. You can change. You get it? You can change the strategy. Then as we passed Ndola, as we are approaching Kapiri, now we have blisters, the legs are paining and whatnot. We took those that followed the journey 2 days off just to relax because we are not understanding what is happening. The legs are swollen and things are crazy. We took a break to reflect. What do we pick on that? When you are moving with your dream and your journey and things don't seem to be working or things seem to be a little otherwise, sometimes pause. Just pause and reflect. After that 2 days, the way we re-engaged the walk, you know what? We did research on how to walk. You see, walking is not the way you walk like this. Me, I can tell you how to walk. There's a way you walk with less pressure on your knees and your ankles. And we re-strategized after pausing. When we started off after that 2 days of pausing, the way we walked, it was something else. And from then on, we had no incident. And finally, we got to Lusaka in huge numbers. We had achieved our dream. After achieving our dream, remember I said the dream. We passed all through these things. But when the dream was finalized, people to celebrate you will be in their numbers. Those that witnessed the time we were arriving in Lusaka, Great East Road was packed, getting towards East Park. Everyone is there to celebrate. You see, they won't see the struggles that we've passed through, but they'll be there to celebrate. When you have made it, no one cares what you pass through. They'll come to celebrate with you. And in our celebration, after arriving, as you can see, the man there, that place, I guess you know that view very well. When the presidents visit Zambia, they've not visited Zambia before a picture is taken from there. When a dignitary has visited Zambia, who is very powerful, not anybody, I mean those who are powerful, a picture is taken from there. And when you have arrived and you are powerful and you've... a picture must be taken. It was my first time meeting the sitting-in president at State House, chilling. Yes. Discussing about nothing, just about life. Have you ever been called by the president to chill? But you know what? The president doesn't call anybody. The president calls those that have achieved and pursued their potential. So my challenge to all of us is that pursue that which God has planted in you. And at that point, for the first time, Standard Chartered Bank comes through and says, listen up, we've been seeing what you are doing. We saw your work. There's this thing you do. What is it called? I said it is called Africa Must Think. Okay. What can we do to help? Then the CEO comes in and said, no, just to support your dream. As a way of starting, just hold this little something. As the way of starting, not the main one. This little something. That was the little something. It was a 500,000. Yeah. 500,000. Yes, just a little something. Then they realized that I am serious with the dream. They came back again. They came back with how much? 2.5 million to support the dream. Did I know Standard Chartered Bank before embarking on the dream? No. All this thing came in when they saw that this guy is on a journey. But as we moved in that journey, it wasn't an easy journey. What seemed impossible can be achieved. And you know what? This has just proven one thing to me. And I would wish to share this with everyone and in your hearing. What seems impossible can be possible. And my heart is at peace now that I can never listen to anyone who tells me that this can't be done. The fact that we walked from Solwezi to Lusaka, I was part of the walk. And after walking, people today still don't believe that we walked. And me, I know that we walked. It has shown that impossibility is just a word. The things that people will tell you that can't be done, they can be done. Based on this, I did it, and still they can't believe that I did it. It has shown that I can do anything, even the things they say it can't be done. Me now, I believe that I can do it. Why? Because it seems people have the way of limiting themselves. And, of course, the walk was a very interesting one. This is how I look. A fairly handsome man. After the walk, this is not edited. This is me. After the walk, I was panel beaten by the sun, the hunger, the everything. This is me trying to smile and my lips are dark. What am I putting across? You will walk your dreams. It won't be smooth sailing. You will be panel beaten like that. You will be sorted out. But you know what? Even after being panel beaten this way, you can still achieve your dream. Your dream can still be achieved. With this note, I would wish to end this way. We have the potential to do exceptional things. God has blessed us in a special way. There are seeds that God has deposited in a number of us. The real question is, are we willing to embark on our dreams? Or are we those that have just settled? We are just moving with the flow. We are just moving with how things are. We are just moving with mediocrity. And I'll close with this verse. I don't know if technical team, there's a time for the Tower of Babel. That is Genesis what? I think the technical team, well, this has just come in now because I would want to beam it. The Tower of Babel, when they were told, when they were set to build the tower. Where is that verse? When they were planning to build the tower, that should be Genesis what? Chapter 11? Okay. Okay, yes. One answer to another. Okay. Technical by chance, would you have access to Genesis 11? I think it would be important that I want you to pick something in as far as dreaming is concerned. This has just been downloaded from heaven. I think it's important that I share it. So let us go 11 verse 6. Okay. Okay, maybe what we'll do is that as we get to that part, as I put the verse or as it will be beamed, we can take maybe one or two questions. Yeah. Then maybe we can close it up from there. Then I'll close with the verse and we can close it up from there. Any reactions? My leader is there.
When we talk about business as Zambians, you see, I'm not Bemba, I'm Namwanga, but I grew up on the Copper Belt, so I know a lot of Bemba. You know, when the Bembas say, Imitei kula empanga, you see, the mistake that was initially there, and why Zambians are a timid people, you will understand where we are coming from. And I'll give you two countries, Zambia and Kenya, the difference, you see, what happened during the independence. When Kenya got the independence, okay, then President Mzee Kenyatta encouraged the Kenyans to partner with the white people to go into entrepreneurship. And you see, that's why Kenyans today, they are far much wealthier than us. In our case, the big man did not encourage Zambians to be entrepreneurship because he wanted to consolidate the power, and he thought business people would be a threat to him. So when you look at Zambians where we are coming from, that's why you find that entrepreneurship has been a challenge on our part, because we have to look at where we are coming from. Entrepreneurship only started coming in when Chiluba took over. So when Dumisani is talking about that, okay, Africa must think and the like, we also need, first of all, to look at our history. Where are we coming from as a country? Was there a platform set? And I'll give you just one example. Why the Indians have excelled in Zambia. Kaunda allowed the Indians to do trading. There's one shop I always tell my wife about, and that is Limbanda. What is written there? Since 1964. Tell me which Zambian was running an entrepreneurship in 1964. So these are some of the things that we need to look at, and we need to move faster and catch up. Because entrepreneurship, it's not just, you just wake up, the way the members will say, it doesn't work like that. And there is this tendency by Zambians as to say, maybe when you are fired, that's when you think of, what kind of business can I do? It doesn't work like that. And people think business is for failures. It doesn't work like that. Because you need to use your brain. And that's one thing, all of us in here, as we are listening to my brother there, we have to take things seriously. Entrepreneurship, it is as good as your job. The one you wake up at 04, you prepare. Even the business, you need to do that. Because people say, no, this is just take a side hustle. Oh, side hustle, but you want to drive a Range Rover. It doesn't work like that. So take whatever I know people have ridiculed him. No, he just talks whatever, but try and digest what he's saying. We are coming from a background, okay, let me say 90% of us here, where our parents did not lay a foundation for business for us. With the Indians, it's different. And that's the way it has been. So Dumisani, thanks for that, and please continue pushing until we start thinking and we get there. I will talk more on that during my period, but I just wanted to challenge you and to inculcate you that, look, we have to take business seriously. It's not jokes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Just to echo what my leader said, Zambia gets independence in 1964. 1968 and 1969, we had what was called material economic reforms and Mulungushi economic reforms. At that point, it was the government's mandate to nationalize all the companies. And we had all these big conglomerates, the Findeco, Mindeco, and all these big organizations controlled by the government. As we moved in the 70s, we had a lot of urbanization. And all these people were dependent on the government. The Zambian economy was pro-socialist. It was dependent on the government. That's why you had free books, free meal coupons and whatnot. Everything was centered on the government. It was only 1991 when we moved to the free market economy, which is pro-capitalist. It is in this period that entrepreneurship has been introduced. But the thinking of us Zambians is still pro-socialist, where we think that the government must answer our issues. And that is why, in case of anything, the first thing you hear is that Boma Iyanganepo. Why? Because our reasoning is still pro-socialist, where the government was controlling everything. So we reason and think the way we think, not by chance. This is something that was embedded in us for a very long time. And quickly, at the same verse that was downloaded, Genesis 11, verse 4. I want us to read it together, and I want us to answer something. I think I'd seen it display. Let us put it up again. Genesis 11, verse 4. All right. So verse 4 says, and they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. Now, are you following? And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. Question: has the city been built? God has come down to see the city which the children of men builded. He's come down, and the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. Is the city there and the tower there, reaching heaven? What does God come to see? Next, 6. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. Now, has it been done or they are beginning to do? And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Now, is the city there or not? Where is the city? God came down to see the city which the children builded. Which city did he see? The dream city. Imaginary. Now, God knows what he has planted in us. God knows what he planted in us. The city was not built. These guys just imagined. We want to do this. We want to build a city that will reach heaven. And because God knows the power he planted in you, if you believe you can do something, God knows that you can do it. He believes in you before you even do it, just from your imagination. Because he says, nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. The question I have for us is, what do we imagine to do? How big are our dreams? Or are we just those who dream very small dreams? The big dream and the Zambian dream, which I've shared before, is that I need to buy a plot in Chalala, build a 3-bedroomed house. Then behind the house, I should keep chickens. The Zambian dream, done. If it is not chickens, let me build a 2 semi-detached flats. The Zambian dream, done. You've made it. No, me, at least I don't pay rent. Yeah. And in fact, I have tenants. 2 tenants. Semi-detached houses. You are done. That's the Zambia. You need to realize that God's blessings are according to what you imagine. And God's miracles, like I was sharing the other time, are according to how you dream to do this. Take, for instance, the miracle that he performed with the 5,000 people. Remember? When they were gathered, he broke the fish and the bread, gave to the disciples, and told the disciples to give the people. And the instruction was very clear. Give them as much as they want. The extent of the miracle was dependent on their want. So if they wanted more, they could have achieved even so much more. And this is a story even for the lady of oil. When the prophet says, gather the vessels, the miracle continued in as she was filling in the vessels. The miracle ended the moment the vessels were full. It is just an explanation that the extent of the miracle is dependent on your capacity and how much you want. I would wish to challenge Brentwood this way. The dreams we have can be achieved. That big dream that seems impossible can be made possible. May God bless us all.
If you haven't attended Africa Must Think, this is what is presented. And these are not just theories. It is happening. At Izula Mutamba. You may say what you want and all those kind of things. The brethren are happening. And by the way, Brother Dumi doesn't just speak. Okay? Brother Dumi is a practical entrepreneur. Like he gave you a snippet. I think it's shared on his pages. And I have a friend of mine who works, he's a chief internal auditor at Chalimbana University. So I was telling him, I saw your friend, your churchmate. Yeah, he regularly comes to our place and he's a supplier of ID cards and all that. So I know Brother Dumi is supplying ID cards to a good number of universities around. And you should count how many students are there and how much these universities are paying him and his company for that. So it will tell you to say the brother is not just speaking theories. He sat down, imagined, and he saw the potential. And he has achieved. While we throw stones and do all manner of things, the brother is happening. Okay? So it's up to you to do what you want to do with the information that he has shared. We just thought he would add some flavor to this event. What do we say? Okay. Another hand. Okay, thank you. Andy is our own, so we had to take advantage. At this particular moment, I know we are hungry for data and all that. We'll break off briefly. We'll give you about 10 minutes. We have some refreshments out there, some snacks, which we're going to share. I know others may be diabetic and all that, so they need something to just sugar up. For the speakers, this row that is seated here, I'm inviting you that we go to the pastor's office. There's something that has been reserved there, and then we go this way. For the rest of the team, I'm asking that those who are in the sides, we go this way. I think all of us, let's use this route, and then we'll be going like this. There's something that is by the door. There are people who are supposed to serve. Thank you. Pastor, we may go this side. For the speakers, we can move out. Just where the technical room is, we go this way. That's where the pastor's office is. For the sake of conveniences, the ladies, we have the main one, which is here. And then we have another two that are there. There's one for ladies and one for gents. And then the main one for the gents is right behind here. Thank you.